Hello and welcome once again. What's Cooking Canton is our show. I'm your host for today. I'm Chef Ramon Herrera. It's my wife, Chef Terry Herrera, the other Chef Herrera. And we have a great show for you today on something that's very easy and something that you could put together and something that is light and something that is healthy. And most of all, and obviously something that is good. So today we're going to be working on two items today. And the first one is going to be salmon wrapped in phyllo dough. It's going to have some kale, some garlic, some seasoning in with that one. And then we're also going to be assembling a nice fresh salad, a ripe tomato salad with cucumbers, pea shoots, red onions, dill, sugar, and we'll go over the rest of the ingredients later on. But first of all, I think I want to introduce to you a concept more than cooking. And one of the first things I want you to notice, if you look over to the right, you'll see that we have a whole bunch of root vegetables. It's, hey, wait a minute, hold on there, Chef. Aren't they really for like the fall time or Christmas time or something like that? And really, the answer to that question is not really. See, when we go out to our markets, to our farmer markets, we improvise and we make use of everything that's around us. And one of the things that I've discovered, and I'm just saying this off the sleeve right here, is that the wife and I love doing roasted vegetable salads. Now, not all salads have to be served cold, and we will go over that in later classes, throughout the season. But for right now, I just kind of wanted to put that bug in your ear. But while you're looking at these, we have a variety of beets here, and contrary to the popular belief, beets are not always red. They got to taste like dirt, These beets are actually quite sweet. These are called candy striper beets, and we also have some golden beets and some red beets. And if you look over, we have a little something known as rainbow carrots, which has a higher sugar content in it, which allows you to roast and make a heartier meal out of that. Now, having said that, I want to go on ahead and jump right into this. Now, right now, and just to kind of settle a little bit of spatial organization here, the item that we're going to be making today takes at least about 15 minutes at 400 degrees to cook. You always want to make sure that that internal temperature is always at 145, okay? And there are a few secrets that I do want to share with you while I'm assembling this. So first, what we're going to do, we're going to start off with our phyllo. And phyllo is almost in any store that you encounter, but a couple of things about phyllo. Phyllo can be very, very temperamental, okay? It frays very easily, it dries very easily, so I'm afraid on a level of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult, I want to say that this is exactly a good level 6, okay, maybe even a 7, because when you learn how to handle phyllo, it might take you a couple of tries. I'm not going to kid you. So we're going to take this olive oil, we're going to paint it all along the sides right here, and we're going to go in and we're going to take, I always mess that part up, we're going to take our kale, whoa. We're going to take more phyllo. We're going to lay it right down first. I almost jumped ahead of time. And we're going to paint that again one more time.
And it's lemon garlic butter.
Lemon garlic butter, yep. Sometimes what I do with my garlic butter, sorry, I didn't get to that side. Thank you very much, because sometimes I go a little bit too fast as usual. But sometimes I'll even mix up olive oil and butter. And it actually has a very, very different, wonderful cooking dynamic and character to it. So we're going to go on ahead. This is my third layer here, and we're going to lay that down, and let's go on ahead and push luck one more time. And as we're painting it, we could already see it starting to dry a little bit, so you got to kind of work a little fast here. Okay, now we could start assembling this bad boy. Now, first thing what we're going to do, we're going to take our kale. Yeah, can you wrap that up for me? Thanks. And the kale is going to go right in front of your belly. I like to say at your 6 o'clock. And the kale is pre-chopped. Okay, so once you buy your kale, you want to wash it. You want to put it through the salad spinner. You want to make sure that it's nice and drained, nice and crispy to use. Then we're going to go on ahead and take our salmon. Now the salmon, what we did, we cut those up into nice large chunks right here. And this is going to be a very, very small batch that I'd like to do. And next what we're going to do, we're going to go over it with this seasoning that I made. This seasoning is actually just a little bit of Cajun spice, some paprika, some salt, some pepper. That's it. That's all you need. Now, we're going to do a little dab of butter on the, oil butter on the sides here so it could seal really nicely. Now we're going to take this edge, and here comes the fun part. We're going to fold it in just like that, and we're going to fold this end in just like that, okay? Then we're going to give it a roll. Now when you roll, you have to make sure that you wrap your fingers around the item so that everything goes into the center. Now once again, be careful. Don't worry if any of this starts cracking or splits or anything like that. That's why you have the extra layers. And we're going to dab a little bit more oil butter mixture. And as we roll, we roll, we roll, nice and even, nice and beautifully. Now, you should have a very, very nice roll, kind of like a cigar. We're going to go over it with a little bit more butter, oil, garlic mixture, and then we're going to top it off and garnish with a little bit more seasoning right over the top. Oh man, that's going to be beautiful. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to go on ahead, we're going to set this over to the side. Now, here's one thing about cooking that I notice a lot of people make a mistake with. That whenever you get things out of the oven, you should let them rest at least for about 15 to 20 minutes. And the same thing can go for this item here, and it does matter if you're doing anything such as prime rib, chicken, fish, or what have you. Now, timing it. Oh, perfect timing right now. So we're going into our little gizmo right here. Okay. I'm going to get everything out of the way. I was going to lay it right over here to rest.
Right up there? Okay.
Yeah, no, just put the other one in. So now what we're going to do, this little guy is done. There we go. Man, talk about perfect timing, right? So why the oil butter mixture? What happens? What's the reaction? What goes on? Well, let me tell you. What you want at this point is a very nice golden brown finished product. And we're going to take that, and like I said, we're going to let that rest. And remember, when you're rolling it, you always want that lip to rest on the bottom, because if you have that on the top and you're putting it inside of the oven to cook, it can actually unravel on you. And that could be a terrible, terrible mess. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our new product, the one we just did, because I know the crew is getting hungry right now. And we're going to go on ahead and open that bad boy up right in there. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, I got to make sure. That's the one thing about these air fryers. You have to make sure you get it on the exact right notch in the rack, right on the inside. Whoops. Yeah, I know. I was a little scared about that for a second. Now, once again,
Let's go 12 minutes.
12 minutes, okay. So it's going to do 12 minutes this time. Okay, and we're going to go up to 400. There we go. Okay, and it should start up for us again. All right, there we go. All right, now while our phyllo is resting, we're going to go on ahead and we're going to get started, I got it, with our salad. And the salad, yeah, nice, fresh garden taste. And if you're like me, and I'm hoping, you could meet me back in my garden, in the back of our house, a lot of the stuff that we use does come out of our garden. Okay, very proud of that fact. So we're going to go on ahead and try to get these gloves on. Bit of a struggle there, battle of the bulge. And first thing what we're going to do, we're going to go on ahead and take our tomatoes. These are absolutely gorgeous, my goodness, just beautiful. We're going to put some of those in there just like that. Next, we're going to go with our cucumbers. Now, these cucumbers were striped, okay, meaning that I split them in half, I gutted out all the seeds, I left a little bit of green on them, not a lot. Now, these are English burpless, seedless cucumbers, but you still have to take a spoon and gut them out anyway. And the way that I cut those, instead of cutting them straight, like so, I took my knife and I cut it at an angle, which gives it a really, really nice effect, and you'll see that in just 1 second. And when you do leave that skin on there, some people call them skinless cucumbers, some people call them burpless cucumbers. They're those very, very long ones with the very, very thin skins. I love using those. And then again, we're going to visit our red onions. Man, Chef, you love red onions. You better believe it. Absolutely, I do. I'm going to take some dill. Just a little pinch. I like to give it a lot of flavor. I'm going to take some sugar. Sugar, you know, a lot of people were asking in the demonstration, well, why use sugar in a recipe? Well, it actually brings out a lot of other flavors, okay? And some people actually call that the other type of flavor known as umami when you bring out the flavors of other items in your dish, okay? As opposed to sweet, salty, bitter, what have you. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna be using this vinegar. Now this is balsamic vinegar. I don't have a label for this, I apologize about it, but a lot of people have been asking me, what's the big difference in between balsamic vinegar and a regular vinegar? And the main thing I could tell you is this, and the most simplest comparison, the simplest analogy that I could tell you is that I want you to compare something like apple cider vinegar to, like, I don't know, we'll say a 6-pack of beer, okay? And if you're comparing that over to a balsamic vinegar that has been aged, is usually made with figs and grapes, you're usually talking about the Dom Perignon of vinegars. It's going to have a more pungent, sweeter, powerful flavor and characteristic to it. And contrary to the popular belief, it's not really as sweet, or it's not really as tart as people think it is. So what we're going to do, we're going to add a little bit more tardiness to it, and we are going to put some of this apple cider vinegar in there. I like using just a splash. There we go. And then we're going to go with my roasted sun-dried tomato olive oil. Right over it just like so. Just a bit. And we're already seeing the color coming out of that. That's just absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to take our tongs, and we're going to go on ahead. All right, so I'm going to put some pepper and a little bit of salt. Come on, you. There we go. And it looks like I'm putting a lot of salt. Actually, I'm not. Salt. What kind of salt should I use for a recipe such as this? You know, there's all different types out there. And if you ever come over into our kitchen and you were to say, hey, where's the salt? Well, it's over there along with the other 6 salts. We actually have about 6 or 8 salts in our kitchen. Pink, black, red, kosher, sea salt. My favorite, I love using sea salt myself. All right, so we're gonna let that stir around a bit. Now, when you're doing this at home, you may want to consider chilling these for a bit. How long should you chill it inside the freezer? Well, I like going for, I don't know, maybe about 40 minutes to an hour. Okay, we're gonna put that right in there. We're gonna let that chill. Whoops, hopefully I don't spill too much. Come on, chef. There we go. Man, that looks beautiful. I wish you could smell this. We need smell-o-vision. They got cars that could drive themselves, but we don't have smell-o-vision. Okay, let's let that chill. All right, so we're gonna let that one go. All right, now for the fun part. We're gonna go into imagination land. And let's just imagine that it's probably about 15 minutes from now. This is a very, very challenging part. Now, the one thing you are going to need is a nice, high quality, very sharp serrated knife, okay? How can I cut with skill? How can I handle knives correctly? Well, first thing what you do, never fight the knife. Let the knife do its job, okay? The minute you start thinking, well, I have to master this and do that, you're gonna mess things up, trust me. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our phyllo. Now, there are a lot of tricks to cutting phyllo, okay? My favorite is wrapping it up in plastic wrap, like what we used to do in competition a good while ago. But if you take a nice high quality serrated knife, relax as you're cutting, let it do its job. You're gonna notice that you're gonna have a lot less mess on your hands than you think. Can we get a couple of boats over here? We'll start assembling those. Now, once we do that, on those paper boats, once again, I'm not forcing the knife. The knife is doing its work all on its own. And oh my goodness, that looks absolutely beautiful. Now, for the demonstration, what we did over the weekend, we kind of cut these thin. In this situation, I kind of want to give our friends a bit of a treat today. So we're going to go on ahead, we're going to cut this a lot thicker. Let the knife do its work. Don't push the knife. And if a little bit flakes off, that's okay. Okay. Still going to have some ready for our friends out there. There we go. Okay. And we're going to go on ahead and do one more. And you'll notice, even though if it was not 15 minutes and still letting it rest, you could still notice, if the camera gets the angles in, that it's still holding its shape, and it's holding it very, very well. Okay? Now, back over to imagination land. We're going to imagine that our salad has already chilled. Okay? Actually, I'm going to tell you, I cheated a little bit. Actually, I made a salad ahead of time, and we did chill some too. But we're going to take our imaginary chilled salad, ha ha ha, and we're going to go on ahead, a little portion in each one of these. We're going to give it a good mixture. Bring what? Yeah, so we're going to go on ahead, we're going to place the salad right on there on one side. Okay. Man, this is going to be really nice. Okay. Nice mixture of onions in there just to come out. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Then we're going to take our salmon. We're just going to kind of lay that. You want a really nice presentation to come off of that. Missing a tomato over here. There we go. Boom. All right. We're going to take our salmon, put it right in there. Okay, just like so. Just like that. I'm going to take our last piece. Now, you're not done yet, okay? One of the big things that are going on, towel please. One of the big things that are going on right now are the use of microgreens. Microgreens are really a cool thing to do, but what microgreens really are, they're just really the young seedlings that are just starting out. It's not really a species all on its own, because later on they turn into vegetables, of course. But what we did, we went over to our friends in the market, and I was looking over at that booth, man, and I saw those, the microgreens that were there. I said, oh man, I have to use this. This is just so absolutely beautiful. So we're going to take these. These are called pea shoots, okay? And I'm going to give them a nice gentle twist here. I'll put them right on top, right over here by the salad. And it's not rocket science, guys, okay? Just a little bit just to give it some color, just to give it some character. That's going to be beautiful. Look at that. I cannot get over that color. And you got that fresh garden crunchiness that comes out with it. Let's get these out of here just for our guys here so we can be ready. Easy dish. Very quick, very simple. They're going to think you went to culinary school, okay? All right. And there we have it. Salmon wrapped in phyllo with kale, with a tomato, cucumber salad, with some great vinegars, with some great oils, with some great seasonings to enjoy with some great friends. Okay? I thank you very much. Please be safe. God bless. Thank you.